Look it, it looks like I'm... Welcome to Mythical Kitchen, where dreams become food. Today we are making Cheez-It Ravioli. We're gonna take all of that toasty, noasty flavor of a Cheez-It and we're gonna pack it into fresh pasta, roll it out, get some cheddar in there. It's gonna be all of the cheesy flavors that you know and love in a pasta pocket that I'm forcing you to eat. If you wanna stack the time codes, they're gonna be right there. And you can make the Cheez-It Raviolis too. We're gonna start by making our Cheez-It Ravioli fresh pasta dough. Now, there are two types of people in this world. People who prefer Cheez-Its to cheese nips, and uncultured idiots who don't deserve fresh, toasty, cheesy snack cracker flavor. Hot take! So you might be asking, why? Why any of this? I don't know, but you're gonna go ahead and take 2 cups of Cheez-Its, just measure it out loosely, and you're gonna dump that in a blender. And then we're gonna take 2 cups of flour and put it in there. So the way you typically make fresh pasta dough is you are just taking flour and you're blending that with eggs, maybe a little bit of water, maybe some sort of olive oil. We're not doing that. We are going to do a something to something ratio of flour to Cheez-Its. The reason we're cutting it with flour is because in Cheez-Its, the gluten has already expanded and become solidified, so we need the gluten from the fresh flour. That's why we're gonna process it in a Vitamix. If you don't have a Vitamix, you can use a food processor or just bash the crap out of them, but you might need to sift it because you're not gonna get as clean of a blend on the Vitamix. This is gonna turn it into a real fine powder, and it's gonna turn into a pasta dough that's perfectly pasta dough. Pasta dough bowl. So you're gonna blend this up, and you're gonna use the tamper to tamp down the Cheez-Its. The flour is actually helping bind all this together, and it's also helping absorb the fat from the Cheez-Its. So when you add your eggs to it, you're not gonna have like oil separation, because you've just created one big old mass of cheesy cracker flour that's gonna get all that toasty noastiness right into your pasta. Look it, it looks like I'm... See if this works. Hey now. And then you're gonna create a well in the middle of your flour. This is a traditional Italian pasta making technique, including the Cheez-Its. Italian people, come for me in the comments. So we're gonna crack 4 eggs into this dough. Some people would not put shells in their pasta dough. Me, boy do I love the crunch. Just wakes you up in the middle of the day. Fork. And you're just gonna start mixing the pasta dough by hand. This is a very traditional Italian technique. Some people would use a fork to mix it together, but I don't like that. I like to really feel my dough come together. Start whisking in the middle, and then gradually add in some of that Cheez-It flour, trying to make sure that the walls of the levee don't break. And eventually this is going to form a shaggy dough. There we go.
Josh, there's a fork next to the blender.
Where?
On your right side.
No way, there was a fork there the whole time? I was trying to just like be a good TV chef guy and like roll with the punches. Yeah, no, don't finger your dough, probably use a fork. Well, we're here, so whatever. It's all the same, it comes together. You can do this in a food processor, you can do it with your hands. Everyone's been like, oh, Josh, during COVID, this must be terrible because you're such like a gross piece of shit when you cook. No, it's great, because now I don't have anyone complaining about it because no one wants to eat anything that anyone else has touched. So if you see our dough is starting to come together, you're gonna be a little bit shaggy when you actually ball it up and put it in plastic wrap and get it in the fridge, because then all the oil from the Cheez-Its and all of the liquid from the eggs are going to hydrate that flour, and then it's gonna become nice and pliable. And so you're just gonna mash it a little bit. Now it's looking like a pasta, just like a nonna used to make. And we're just gonna tear this into 2, and then we're gonna form it into little discs. I always like to put my pasta into discs instead of balls. This makes it easier to roll out, right? When you're gonna take the pasta dough out of the fridge, you're gonna start rolling it with a rolling pin, and it just makes it easier because you're already halfway there. Get some plastic wrap. So you're gonna take your plastic wrap, and then you're gonna, I tore the plastic wrap. Now you're gonna get your pasta dough resting in the plastic wrap, and that's gonna create a nice airtight seal, and that means none of the moisture is gonna evaporate. So it's gonna become nice and pliable in the fridge. I really screwed this plastic wrap up, Nicole. This whole thing's done for. All right, and these are gonna go in the fridge, and then you're just gonna take them out, and then we get to making our pasta. We're making the Cheez-It Ravioli filling, and my thought process behind this is I wanna take the flavor of Cheez-Its, right? So that like real bold cheddar flavor. And so I'm gonna, no, not again. I'm gonna take extra sharp cheddar that's shredded. I'm gonna mix that with ricotta. So like ricotta, Parmesan, parsley, garlic are really common flavors in a ravioli filling, but there is no common flavor for a Cheez-It ravioli filling because it's just something I said on like a Slack thread. So we're just gonna crack an egg into the ricotta as well. The egg is just to help bind everything. And so we're gonna take a little pinch of salt, and then we're gonna put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then about a teaspoon of chives. Chives and cheddar cheese is one of my favorite combinations of all time. You just get like that little oniony pop. For me, it adds a lot more than parsley in a dish like this. And then we're simply gonna whisk it up. And then all we gotta do is roll out our pasta, and we're gonna fill it with this delicious cheddary mixture. We're gonna boil it, and we're gonna sauce it, and we're gonna saute it, and we're gonna fill it. Ow! We have our Cheez-It pasta dough. Ugh, it smells like Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its have such a distinct smell. I gotta describe Cheez-Its like it's a beautiful Côte d'Aron, like a beautiful barnyard bouquet. It just really transforms you to pastoral France. So we have our pasta dough, and we're just gonna start rolling it out. If you have a pasta maker, you could absolutely do this, but me, I am my own pasta maker. And so I'm just gonna roll it out. Ravioli, since it's a filled pasta, you're doubling up on the layers of the edges, so it has to be extra thin. I've had so many homemade ravioli that are super thick, so I'm gonna go extra thin until I lose interest in this and I just give up and make it thick. So keep rolling it out. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, you know? Ugh, I'm all sweaty at the haunches now. I'm gonna hike up my pants real quick. Don't short the work here, you know? You really wanna put it in to make these bad boys extra thin. Can I take off my shirt? No? Okay. Here we go. There we go. Come on. Come on now, pasta. Come on, work with me here. We have we have one sheet done, but the best part about ravioli is there's 2 sheets of pasta that go on it by necessity. You're gonna unwrap your second dough of dough, and then you're gonna start rolling that out. But in a few easy steps, it should look like that. After long last, we have both of our sheets of pasta, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this up to roughly be a square, or as some people in the math world like to call it, a rectangle. And so I'm gonna cut this into a rectangle just so all the edges line up when we do eventually punch out our ravioli in 35 to 60 years when this is all done. And then you take the pasta scraps and you put it in this for snacking. So we have our 2 sheets of pasta dough right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to egg wash the bottom sheet. This is a great tip for ravioli. The egg wash is really gonna help your ravioli stick together when you cut it out, because you never want your edges to burst while you're boiling. We washed our pasta with our eggs. We have a stamp, so you wanna roughly estimate the size of your stamp and then put a dollop of filling in there. So I have this superpower where I can measure things with my eyeballs, and so all I'm gonna do is take a little dollop of filling and put that where our squares would be. We're going to do 4 on each. 3 and 4. We'll do that all the way across the board. We'll see if we can get 12 out of this. So just little dollops of filling to fill out our ravioli. Hey, did you know that one ravioli is called a raviolo? And do you know that anyone that says that to you when you say a ravioli is a huge dick? Dollop, 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 do a dollop of daisy. And now, this is the most important part. Have fun. No, that's not it. The most important part is to lay your second sheet of dough on top. And then what you wanna do is take your fingers and try and press all the air out around your filling, because otherwise you're going to have air in there that's gonna cause steam, that's gonna cause your ravioli to inflate, and it runs the risk of rupturing. No one wants a ruptured ravioli. My uncle died of a ruptured ravioli back in World War II. Oh no, that was a parachuting accident. You're getting a little cheese seepage on the sides, but cheese seepage never killed anyone except my other uncle. So you're gonna take our stamp, and all you're gonna do is stamp it. Again, what a simple home recipe for anyone who can make home recipes. But it's gonna be very rewarding, I'll tell you that. So you're gonna stamp it out, and then you get, look at this. Nicole, give me Cheez Its. Look at this. What do we have here? This is a big old Cheez It. So now, I'm gonna do this like 12 more times, and just keep, I'm just gonna go fast. There ain't nothing to it but to do it. We're gonna get there, but the end product is gonna be so worth it. And so we have some of them, and now all we have to do, we're gonna make a really beautiful garlic butter sauce that we're gonna hit with some chives, get a little bit of freshness. I'm gonna get at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of sweat in there, which is but a drop in the bucket of what is currently happening in my grundle area right now. The pasta's boiling away. That's not true. I've put none of it in there. I just threw scraps in there. We got a boiler pasta. We're gonna get it nice and sauced, and yeah! We have all of our ravioli made. They look beautiful. They honestly look like Cheez Its. They're gonna taste really delicious. We're just going to heftily salt our pasta water. And since we're gonna be using part of that pasta water in the sauce, we have the raviolis with some flour on top. We're just gonna slide them all in there. The flour in the water is just gonna help the sauce. So we also have a pan that is hot, and we're gonna add butter to it. What sauce do you put on a Cheez-It Ravioli? No, I'm actually asking. That's not a rhetorical question. What would you do? I'm gonna melt butter and I'm going to saute lots of garlic in it. I have 6 cloves in there, way too much garlic. But garlic, cheese, chives, all really good flavor combinations to me. So I'm just gonna melt the garlic down with the butter, and then as the butter starts to foam, all that beautiful garlic flavor is gonna infuse into the butter. All the little flour particulates, the starch that's in the water right now is going to help bind water and fat, which are 2 things that are not supposed to combine, and that is what emulsification means. So one guy in the comments who says, Josh, you don't know what emulsify means. Yeah, I Googled it at least 15 minutes ago. Got him. You just want your ravioli in there for about 4 minutes. Honestly, fresh made pasta, people are always like, you only wanna boil it for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. When it's really thick, I think it can handle a longer boil. So I'm gonna get some of that butter doing the flippy thing so Morgan can get it on his camera. It does nothing from a cookery perspective. Gotcha, Morgan. All that garlic sauteing that butter, that's looking lovely. We're going to take about a 1/2 cup of this pasta water. You see it's all kind of nice and murky looking. That is what we want. A little bit more than a 1/2 cup apparently. And then we're gonna let this cook for a couple seconds. To get the ravioli in there. None of these raviolis burst, which I am very happy with. When you finish a pasta in the sauce like this, all that's gonna do is infuse the flavor of the sauce into the actual pasta, and also the starch from the pasta is going to help bind the sauce. So it's gonna become nice and thick. I do this with all my pastas. I do it with my spaghetti. Hell, I even do it with my ramen noodles. I even do it with Kraft mac and cheese. Honestly, I cook Kraft mac and cheese risotto style, which is like among the bougiest things that I do. I'm gonna take about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. Just all that pasta water. No, pasta water is super salty. Well, you know. It'll probably taste good. So you can see the sauce is looking almost creamy, right? But there's no actual cream in there. That is just the butter and the pasta water emulsifying together. Let's take a spoon, taste it, see where we're at. That's tasting good. Just needs another couple minutes to really reduce down. Then we're gonna hit it with some fresh chives and plate it up. And it's gonna be real nice and Cheez-It-y. All right, so the Cheez-It sauce has reduced nicely. You can see it's getting real thick and creamy in there. So we're gonna take about a tablespoon of chives and we're gonna toss it in there. I like to add fresh herbs into my pasta right at the end. I do a similar thing with parsley, and then I'm just gonna give it a nice little toss like that. And there we have our saucy cheddar, saucy, sounds like an app. Write that down. Here we have our saucy cheddar, Cheez-It, ravioli. We're just gonna dump that into our plate right there. That is looking gorgeous. Get some of that delicious garlicky sauce all over it. Beautiful. Now as the final garnish for Cheez-It ravioli, I'm gonna zest a Cheez-It. So we're gonna take our zester. That's gorgeous. Just get some of those beautiful Cheez-It zest crumbs right on top. Take a little bit of extra Cheez-It dust, get that right on top, and then that is a beautiful plate of food right there. This is how devoted we at Mythical Kitchen are to your experience. We are gonna get you as close to my mouth as possible while I'm all wet. And we're gonna spork myself, because we can't spork anyone else. So, welcome to Spork Cam. We're live here at the Mythical Kitchen, and we're just gonna spork up a ravioli and then get that right. How am I gonna eat? I'm gonna go straight for the center. Most people are trying to attack a corner, but I'm gonna go. Uh-oh. I don't like that. I'm gonna do that again. How am I supposed to get this big ravioli in my mouth without getting all messed up? I'm gonna try a...
Hold on. You need to start that over because you had stuff all over your face.
No, I'll get stuff in my face again. We good? Very hard to eat on a spork. If you're eating this at home because you've made it and it's very simple, I understand that you probably aren't gonna be sporking yourself with a GoPro attached to it, and I don't even know what I look like right now. I feel real greasy. It's actually really delicious. The first thing that hits you is that immediate punch of like roasty, toasty, noasty, cheesy flavor, and that's fantastic. You get the little bit of crunch from the Cheez-Its on top. Oh God, I'm so disgusting. There's that beautiful freshness. The garlic just really comes through with that perfuminess. It's actually very, very well balanced. Maybe could use a squeeze of lemon, but next time we'll do that. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the Mythical Kitchen. I hope me eating that did not completely sicken you, because we got new episodes of Hot Dogs, a Sandwich out every Wednesday and new cooking videos every week. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Hit us up on Instagram at Mythical Kitchen with hashtag DreamsBecomeFood. I'll see you next time. Get as messy as you want in your own kitchen when you have the Mythical Kitchen Towel, available now at mythical.com.